Today on Business Success in 6 with Stacie, I have Sarah Smith here from Section 715 Throwing Co. in Plover and Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, so you have opened up multiple businesses since 2020. If you don't mind, I'd love to talk about your experience, Section 715 Throwing Co. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. When people ask you what Section 715 Throwing Co. is, how do you describe your business?
That's interesting. So basically we are an axe throwing venue. We're an entertainment and recreation center that offers axe throwing. We also do knife throwing. We do corporate team building events. We do private parties, birthdays, graduations, and then we also have leagues during the season.
Oh my
so
gosh,
that's
so
super
fun.
fun. Yeah. And then we also have our mobile trailer, so we can actually bring axe throwing to your event.
Interesting. Well, I know I got connected with you because we're a business and executive coaching firm, through somebody that I saw hosting a team building event through you. So that's super cool. You've got so many different lines of revenue or different customer demographics that are really coming in. I didn't realize you have a mobile unit
Yes.
as well.
Yep.
Very cool.
That's great for the summer months.
Oh, absolutely. I bet.
Yeah, being in Wisconsin, our winters offer a little bit more for people to come into the venue, the brick and mortar, and actually throw. But the summer months, people are out and about, and it's awesome that we can bring axe throwing to their events. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
So you started you started the business 2020, opened up at the beginning of 2021. What were your plans when you started? I mean, actually tell a story about like the first time you went to an axe throwing place, and then tell me all about it.
So it started in 2020, July of 2020. I threw a surprise birthday party for my now fiance, at a axe throwing venue in Wausau, Wisconsin. Shout out to Blades and Boards, Rachel over there. She was fantastic.
It's about 45 minutes from you.
Yeah, about 45 minutes or so. We had a fabulous time. It was just one of probably, the best times that we'd had in a long time. It was a super fantastic venue. The vibe was really cool. Walked out of there. We had about 20 people walked out of there, looked at my fiance, and I was like, we need something like this in Portage County. At the time, there wasn't much to do recreational wise or entertainment wise besides movies, bowling, or a bar, right? So kind of wanted to bring something a little bit different to central Wisconsin, Portage County in general. I sold real estate at the time, so I kind of had a pulse point on, businesses that were leasing space or selling space. Kind of kept my eyes open for a few months and kind of fell into the right space in Plover, Wisconsin. Went to the board with our business plan, and they were so welcoming and so awesome to work with. It was basically whatever you guys need to open up, let's do this. And January 2021, we did a complete build out and we opened at the tail end of COVID. Congratulations.
And then since then, you've opened a location in Eau Claire. So when did that happen?
So all along the business plan was obviously to possibly open up other venues within the state. Worked with my attorney to kind of trademark the name and then the area code, which people don't know. Section 715 is our area code.
And it's a big area of Wisconsin, like from Superior, like all the way down to what, like Black River Falls, or
it's quite an area. Cool. There are a few other area codes in Wisconsin, so kind of trademark those with plans to expand. That didn't happen right away, as most businesses it doesn't, but we did grow really quickly. And the opportunity came up to buy a current venue in Eau Claire that was already built out and already had an established business. So we went ahead and bought that and rebranded it to Section 715 in Eau Claire in February.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations. So exciting. Such a fun opportunity to just really spread some joy and really connect people too. And those long winter months when you said league, I'm like, brilliant. Like, what do we do in the middle of winter? We can't ski every day.
Yes, right.
Very cool. So what is the biggest way you're impacting the community? We talked about the team building, which in my opinion is huge coming from a business background, getting culture
Yeah.
together. Tell me more about how you're impacting the community.
So team building and the corporate and private events are definitely something that have grown, especially since COVID. It's a little bit more relaxed now. Corporations are starting to kind of return to that team building and let's get together after work or, at the end of the workday and, do that kind of team building experience. So that's definitely been on the uprise, especially this summer. That kind of started in January where you could kind of see businesses and corporations that are a little bit larger booking those again. So that was fantastic. As far as impacting our community, like I said, we do leagues. We run one of the only, I think, in Wisconsin youth leagues. So I have 20, anywhere from 20 to 25 kids on Thursdays that come in and throw. And they throw same rules as the adults have to go by. Teach sportsmanship. We teach, just the general aspect of any competitive sport, which we just love. And we brought them to tournaments throughout Wisconsin. So that's amazing. It's great to see the kids grow from the time they come in when they're very timid to the time they leave after 8 weeks. And they are just nailing those bullseyes and just loving it. So that's another thing. We do a lot of fundraisers, especially local law enforcement. I come from a law enforcement background. My father was a police officer. So we work very closely with Portage County Sheriff's Department. We do a Hatchet for Hounds fundraiser.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then, just various organizations. And I think one point to kind of point out or to maybe help people in small business is, I know I was overwhelmed. Once you kind of donate to an organization, you get an influx of letters and calls and emails from every organization you can imagine. And for me, I was doing it all. I was giving gifts and t-shirts and gift certificates and donations to anything that crossed my desk. And I did realize that you kind of have to set your limits or your boundaries.
Absolutely.
And for me, obviously law enforcement, that is kind of dear to my heart. So that was always number one for us. But what I found helpful is I don't even open much of those letters anymore. Okay. I kind of made a point that if you want me to donate or give something as a gift, that you actually have to make contact with me physically. Absolutely. So if you come to me, phone call or stop into our venue and want to talk about it, the likelihood of me donating it is probably 100%. So that was just it's kind of a good thing to put in your back of your head if you're a small business owner. Yeah. Is that to really make it personal, make sure that you are making contact with people, not just giving to everybody that sends you a letter.
I love that you brought that up. I've done over 200 interviews and nobody has brought that up. And what's interesting that hits me is that's something my parents have implemented too. Come into the showroom, check us out. Like when we're building relationships, it has to be a two-way street. It just, is it just give me, it doesn't feel good, right? But if somebody comes in, knows what you're about, your mission, your culture, so important. Thank you so much for sharing that. So that actually was my next question is, what is one challenge that you have faced that other business owners can learn from? And that's a huge nugget of gold right there that you're sharing. Is there anything else you want to share?
I think as with anybody in small business right now, staffing issues are huge. It's hard to find staff just to do your daily tasks. But for me, our experience is a little bit different. You're not only, an employee, but you're a coach. You're the resident expert on duty. You are expert.
I love that.
Expert, you are making sure that first and foremost, safety is followed. The people are having a good time, that their experience goes well, that they're sticking the axe in the board. They're not just feeling like they're failing at, everything that they're doing.
Sure.
So to find that certain person has been a challenge. But how we kind of remedied that is we kind of look towards our league members. Probably 75% of my staff, and right now I'm running at, I think I have 11 staff members.
Okay.
Probably 75% of them are league members.
So are there 2 leagues going on right now? One in Plover, one in Eau Claire?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, and that's seasonal, so it's 4 times a year. It's an 8-week league season.
Okay.
But we were kind of just doing the whole, ZipRecruiter or Indeed type thing to find employees, and we were just finding that it wasn't working out. Even after interviews, they didn't have the passion for it. So that kind of made it click where it was like, well, let's tap into our league members and see. So I have, everybody's part-time besides my general manager, and it works out awesome because they love it and they love teaching other people to do it. So
yeah, and again, they already have those relationships that they're building, and right,
yes.
and in the knowledge, and so you've got like on the job training when they're not even on the job sometimes.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect business bonus.
Yes.
So what does the future look like to you, and do you have an exit plan? I know you talked about expanding and trademarking, all that fun stuff. Tell me a little more.
Yeah, so really no exit plan as of right now. That might change in a few years. You never know. Maybe to warmer weather. We'll see. But as far as expanding, right now, obviously opening a second location, that's been challenging and a learning opportunity for us. So and for me in particular, I'd like to see us expand maybe one or two. We got some things in the works that possibly might happen here in central Wisconsin. So that's something. We're looking at other revenues of income, a few more entertainment options, like golf simulator. Kind of when I named it Section 715 Throwing Company, I didn't really want to pigeonhole us into axe throwing. So I didn't do, 715 axe throwing or 715 axe house. I kind of didn't want to pigeonhole us into one specific thing. I wanted us to be able to grow with what was going on. When we first started, it was just axe throwing. Then the knife throwing got accepted into the World Knife Throwing League.
That's crazy. I've not heard of that yet. That's what are the knives like? I'm just curious.
So they have different kinds. There's really a set kind of length and that sort of thing. They have to have guards on them. Have to be approved by our World Knife Throwing League in order to be thrown. But yeah, it's kind of a new thing within the last year or so, where we kind of integrated that into our leagues as well as general public throwing.
Smart. And I think that's really, really a good point that you bring up. Like, so you haven't just pigeonholed in one area. You're continuing to grab people's attention by starting to offer other things in there. So
so like space allowed, like we have space in Eau Claire that we can expand into, even cornhole, anything that has throwing, cornhole, darts, the golf simulator isn't exactly throwing, but it's kind of along those same lines. So we're kind of just going with the flow of that. We work with a local group. Sorry.
You're good. This is business and life, right?
Right. We work with a local brewery that creates a beer for us. So we're kind of maybe moving into that kind of stream a little bit as well. So lots of good things happening.
Oh my gosh, so fun. And I know you have a couple of older daughters too that might be interested at some point. So who knows on an exit plan, right?
Yes.
Price has got to be right though, even with family.
Yes. 100%.
My final question for you, Sarah, all subjects open, what inspires you most?
Oh, a couple things. So obviously my daughters, and women in business, women who own their own small business. I think it's fantastic. And with that, my daughters, it's been amazing since I opened this business to kind of see their minds start to move, a little bit, and kind of what they want to do, and not maybe go into that corporate world. I think for them, it always has been a little bit of, what am I going to do? do I want to go into the corporate world or what? And now I think this has kind of sparked a little bit of initiative in them to maybe possibly open their own small business. So they inspire me, just the ideas that they throw out to me that I never thought about. That demographic, that whole generation is a little bit not what we're used to per se, as far as marketing and that sort of thing. So it's been great to hear kind of their advice.
Awesome. Well, and that's something, a lot of people complain about millennials and these different generations. And one thing our coaches really talk about is, first of all, they're the future. Second of all, millennials and younger, they want purpose behind the business. They don't just want to feel like they're a number and they're swiping in and out. If there's
100%.
purpose behind it, or, like you're showing them, women are strong, they can be leaders, they can open up multiple locations. And we, at our age, we have the ability to do something different if we don't like what we're doing.
Yep.
So, yeah. Beautifully inspiring. Thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to connect with you, do a team building event, just get in a league, whatever that might be, what's the best way for them to follow Section 715?
Yeah, so the best way is obviously our website. It's www.section715throwingco.com.
Okay.
As well as our social media. We have Facebook and Instagram at Section 715 Throwing Co. Our Eau Claire location, it's the same thing. You just add Eau Claire to the back end of it.
Perfect.
Email, they can email me. All of my information's on the website. I do give out my personal cell phone.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. We are answering calls 24/7. So that's on the Facebook page as well. Just go ahead and like our Facebook page. That's pretty much how we do most of our communication with the outside world, is through Facebook or radio ads.
Okay.
That's kind of at first I was like, I don't know if I'm just going to do Facebook or what, but social media is huge right now. It's the only way that people, especially the millennials, that generation, kind of find out things. So
awesome.
We're there as best we can be.
Thank you for being there. It was such a pleasure learning all about your business. Section 715. Sarah, good luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye now.